Hi, welcome back to the Real Family Reviews podcast, formerly known as D&D Reviews. I'm the daughter.
And I'm the dad.
And grab some popcorn because today we are talking about Die My Love.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
Cheryl mentioned that you're a writer.
I don't do that anymore.
Stuck for inspiration?
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all. Where are you now?
Is everything all right?
When was the last time we had sex? Rough guess.
Things have been, Where's your book going, by the way?
Main character is about to batter her husband to death with a hammer.
Shut up.
Grace, if you're having a hard
I
time,
feel fine.
Grace. Grace. Stop it.
Don't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Which is a very polarizing movie that just came out this weekend and we were able to go and see it. So go see it yourself, then come back for our thoughts because we are going to be spoiling the movie in general. So how did you enjoy Die My Love?
I did enjoy it, but it scared me. It scared me because obviously Jennifer Lawrence's character is, you think she's got postpartum depression, but we're thinking maybe she had depression to start with, or she had some sort of mental illness to start with. But if you've never had mental illness, I don't think I've had mental illness, but you think, wow, this is such a serious thing, such a horrible thing, She's as mad as a hatter. She's as mad as a hatter, and it's like really sad, and affects everyone around her, affects herself. It's scary. It was scary. It was scary. It's like a horror film in its way.
Sure. Yeah, it's based on a book. This is actually directed by Lynne Ramsay, who we were discussing in the car. Directed when we talk about Kevin.
Yeah.
Which you've read.
I've read the book, but I've not seen the film. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very. She makes kind of those. Tends to make. I mean, I even said it to you. I was like, I didn't know the director of this. We only knew the cast and kind of the general plot, but. I was like, it felt like a female-directed movie.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot of women or a woman was behind.
Well, the women characters in it were. Yeah. They were the characters, weren't they? Rob Pattinson has like a strong role, but it's the women in it.
Yes, the women.
And,
it's definitely good movie. It's one of the. I don't know.
You feel it's like geared up for the Oscars, don't you?
It feels kind of a little bit not Oscar baity. Movies that come out at a certain time in the year, you feel are made. Sometimes they film movies and they don't put them out until, because obviously they're trying to get in the end of the Oscar season.
I thought this film as well. We saw it at a 5:20 showing on a Sunday, and there was a reasonable crowd.
It's okay
compared to some films that go on. You go, how many people will there be? There'll be 7, and again, then there's like us and one other person.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few people in there. A lot of women.
Yeah.
Which explained, which because it's a women. You didn't. Well, yeah, there were. So when I came back in, I nipped out, went to Lou and came back again, and I looked. I thought, oh, there's loads of women in there, because they were like in pairs.
Yeah.
They were like friends that had gone together.
How it usually is.
So a women-oriented film. But I really enjoyed it. And I think it maybe even at my advanced age, taught me something about women.
That this could happen. But yeah, I mean, we were saying it's obviously hard to speak on when you don't have any experience with that, or none of us have ever like been diagnosed with postpartum depression. Which, to be fair, men can too. They can. But yeah, it's hard when you don't have that medical knowledge to say that this movie is realistic or not. I would say that the character did seem to be a bit like not mentally ill. That sounds a bit like deep, but just a bit different before the baby, I guess. Because it feels like this is a bit of an extreme way of saying. Most of the time, post-depression, from my experience, you don't start jumping through windows. You don't start like, it felt like an extreme version.
She did when she threw herself through that glass
and
door
smashed the head on the
and broke the mirror because you jumped a mile on that.
Yeah, I did. I thought she was dead. That's what it was like. But it seems like a very extreme side of that. As opposed to... there are different ways people deal with being mentally ill, and this felt like an extreme version of what it could be, because she even...
dies by suicide. As I said to you, I was scared for the baby.
Yeah, we were both,
all the way through.
That maybe was gonna...
Because tragically, that does happen.
Like a lot of...
There's harm happens to the baby. But she was very fierce in her love for the baby. And you never knew... what was real and what wasn't. Yeah,
there's a lot of...
You did not know what was real. She saw the guy on the motorbike.
I know,
going past the house, and you think, where the hell is he going, this guy? Because there's meant to be nothing... They kind of live in the middle of nowhere, don't they? They've moved into his house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, from New York, they moved to his his uncle's house in Montana.
Is it in Montana?
It's in Montana, I realised at the end. Because they've got the license plate. I always look at license plates now just to see what state it is.
Is that when they get the new vehicle?
So when they get the new car, because their car was
got
New York
plates, because when she sits in the car with the baby...
When I looked at the Wikipedia after we saw it, it does say move from New York City to Montana to his childhood. But it's his uncle's childhood. Yeah, it's very...
Who shot himself up the ass.
What is kind of... It's one of those movies that are not really a plot, it's more of just a character study, which tend to be when the Oscars come around, or what the most because it's Jennifer Lawrence, for example, would probably get nominated, I think.
Yeah, and Sissy Spacek, she got her problems. Yeah. She was a bit cheeky because she'd got mental problems herself because her husband, played by Nick Nolte,
they're not in one scene.
Nobody came back at the end.
He's in 5 minutes of this movie. It's so random.
Because he's got dementia, hasn't he, of some sort. Yeah. Well, I thought that was the point of him being in it, that you can have mental problems.
Not saying I'm not saying the character's unnecessary. It's just that it's funny that it's a known actor. It's always weird.
But he dies.
I said to you, I always feel like whenever there's a known actor, a really known actor, in a 5-minute role in a movie, I was like, they must be friends with the director, or you said filming something else in the same place, and I'll do this for 300,
I'll do it just because we're friends.
Yeah.
But I mean, he dies. Yeah. So we see him in an earlier, when they first move into the house, he's sat in one room and he can't tie his laces.
Yeah.
And Grace, who's Jennifer Lawrence's character, goes and helps him tie his laces, and she's clicking with him because his wife, Harry's wife, who's Jackson's mother, Robert Pattinson's character, so it's her mother-in-law, is sat with her sisters, and they're kind of talking and gabbing at the table and eating, and they're just leaving him to it. They're just leaving Harry, who's Nick Nolte's character, to it, and she really bonds. She's bonding with him, Grace, and times laces, and they both do this. They both go. When they're those three, your wife and her sisters, they're kind of crazy. They both do it. And then in the night, she hears a noise downstairs, she goes down, and he's holding a knife to his throat or something like that. He's in the middle of the night. Yeah. And he just walks out of the house, and she follows him out of the house, and they start, and he says, a baby, and she's hugely pregnant.
Yeah.
A baby. And he says, don't, when the baby cries, when he says it's a he, don't leave him to cry, which I personally believe anyway, you shouldn't leave kids to cry. And then they start dancing. Mm-hmm. They hold each other and they start dancing. And there's that bond between the two the two people with mental problems
together.
in the film, which was really sweet. I thought it was really sweet.
Yeah, sweet. The next scene is that
because he just accepted her.
Yeah.
Because he knew that he'd got the same problems. But when she spoke to everyone else, they were like, how you getting on?
Yeah.
How you getting on? And Sissy Spacek, who, when he dies, starts sleeping with his gun, starts sleepwalking, walking for miles, and finds herself out in the countryside.
Yeah.
She's saying to her son, when she talks to him, your wife's got all these mental... They're whispering downstairs, she's got all these mental problems. She walked off with your child, and, she went for a walk for hours until it was dark, and they were all searching for her.
Yeah,
But
I feel like
she's
this
got as
movie
many
definitely...
problems.
Well, I guess I wouldn't call sleepwalking a mental health problem, really. It's kind of a symptom of, like...
It's a symptom of definitely you've got a disturbed mind. Children do it a lot because they're...
I feel like this movie does have something to say about supporting people with depression, especially from, like, the partner, like the husband or boyfriend of the woman, because Rob Pattinson in kind of the first bit of this movie is very distant. It's only when a big thing happens that he starts to realize the issue, which I feel like a lot of people, because it's an interesting... Postpartum depression is such a... saying something like postpartum depression is so deep, as opposed to what the women earlier on are saying. Well, they just feel a bit blue. Like, I wasn't myself when in the first year. I wasn't myself either. It's like, no, this is a real serious... It's not just like a write-off thing. But I feel like Rob Pattinson's character definitely is like, well, she's tired. She's bound to be different.
Yeah.
Like, in the first part of this movie, until something deep happens, he's like, okay, this might be more serious than just a natural...
She gets worse and worse, doesn't she?
Thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's saying something about the man or the father of the child to be more of a role, because he just leaves her with the baby all the time, and like she's like, I don't want to leave the baby. But it's so funny because he's just basically never doing anything with the baby. She's always doing it, and then later on there's a line of like, get in the car, we're gonna go talk, and she's like, I'm not leaving the baby. And it's like, he's like, no, you get in the car. And it's like, he pushed her into that position of being so obsessed with the baby because he just leaves her with the baby all the time. He never does anything with the baby. And like,
I think when he's there, I think he does. Because do you remember there's a bit of the first time you see, she does this a lot. Yeah, she does it really well. For Lawrence, she's like really mobile when she's a big cat.
Yeah.
And she's going around on all fours. And crawling around on all fours like this, and she's walking around with a knife at one point right at the start of the film, and he's playing. I can't think of it. They play a lot of music, a lot of old music in the film. They don't play any modern music. It's all old music.
Yeah, at first I thought.
And he comes out and he's talking to the baby. He's going like, and the baby's going, he's going, "Where's mommy gone? Where's mommy gone?"
Well, it's because he's obviously not going to let the baby get hurt. But if she's there, he's not going to go over to it and pick him up. He's going to leave her with the mum.
But he's
at first I thought that it was actually set in like the 1990s or something, because it felt very older. And I was thinking, but especially because we had that discussion in the Springsteen review, which I'll link down below, where we talked about the fact that, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Springsteen review, it was the Black Phone too, where we talked about the fact that in the 80s PTSD wasn't really a thing, and mental illness wasn't really a thing in the past. So, but was a thing. It just wasn't a widely known concept.
Yeah, we weren't as understanding.
But I thought that maybe this movie was set in the 1990s or something, because they were like, because the way they were describing postpartum, they were never saying it. They were just saying like. So I thought at first it was, but then they talked on the phone, and I was like, oh no, it's set modern.
But did you notice when he phoned her and he said he was outside Napa?
No, I know what you're saying. I didn't notice that.
She was holding.
I don't know.
This big phone like this, but I wonder. So she was holding a big phone.
You turned to me...
And then halfway through the conversation, she's got like a little mobile phone. But I wonder whether that was part of the mental...
You literally
thing.
Turned to me in the thing. He was like, she had a huge phone a second ago.
She did. She had this really weird phone.
Like,
I thought it was some sort of like... I thought at the time that it was an older film. I was set in a slightly older time. That she'd got like one of those... Where you pick them a home phone.
Yeah.
And he'd got some sort of mobile wherever he was, sat in Napa, California. But she was suspicious of what he was up to. She thought he was being unfaithful to her. Yeah. She accused him of that. No, you never saw any evidence.
Yeah.
Apart from when he got all flustered over those condoms.
Yeah, and they went down. They gradually went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually realized that scene, the waitress character, there was like a scene of Robert Jackson kissing the waitress. I was thinking,
that's what she saw. Yeah,
She
that's what
thinks
she
it's
imagined
happening,
was going on. Because the waitress just came up and said, "There's your bill, honey."
Yeah.
And he went, "Yeah, I've got to go now." And she thought, "Why have you suddenly got to go?"
Mm-hmm.
But she's trying to get him to tell. She's wandering around this house with a baby she can't talk to, because obviously the baby is a baby, so it's not conversations with her. And she's doing all kinds of like odd things. When she gets those oranges, she gets all the oranges out of the bowl, and then she's walking around and she's kind of rolling two of them against her breasts. And then she starts saying the same thing over and over again. I can't think what it was now. When she starts talking to the little teddy bear.
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
I
think that's what she was saying. And she keeps saying it over and over and over again, and just wandering up the stairs, down the stairs, all around the house, over and over again. Never sits down and watches TV or something like anybody you think would do.
Yeah.
And she takes the baby and she walks for miles, puts the baby in a stroller, and walks for miles and miles and miles.
I've heard that that's people who, when you have a new baby, like get out of the house because it'll help you mentally.
Yeah, but I mean, I've walked miles and miles and miles with babies, and that's fine when you're on the pavement and what have you. But she was like walking over these dirt roads. Your buggy would come apart. You really would. It would start like the wheels would start dropping off, and you'd be doing all this. She was driven. She was driven to do something. She was driven to do things.
No, I mean that's fair. That's a fair point.
And I think that was all part of her.
But I just think that for viewers of this movie, it does have something to say about
it has a lot
people's reaction to having someone who has postpartum depression.
Yeah.
The boyfriend be more involved. Because he says like a line that kind of sounds like, I'm at work all day and I come home and I expect a clean house, food on the table, and she goes, 3 days a week, you know,
shower you in medals.
Yeah, I'll shower you in meals, shower you in a clean house, shower you in all that stuff, and it's like, he should be a bit more. But then at the same time, he's at work,
She's not doing anything at all. She's not.
Yeah, because she's a writer.
Because everyone keeps trying to, but she's not writing.
And she isn't writing. So that's kind of where they're at.
And there was a really strange thing that I've already mentioned to you, where she gets up in the middle of the night and she breastfeeds a baby. And the baby goes to sleep, she puts the baby down, she goes into her writing area, and she gets a pen, which must have been like an old style, like pen, like a goose quill almost that people are, and she starts flicking ink onto the paper. And she's got her breast exposed because she's just been feeding the baby. And as she's like flicking the ink onto the piece of paper, her breast milk starts to express. Yeah. It's like really strange.
Yeah,
and it mixes with, which she only just fed the baby, so
with the black.
With the ink, yeah. So the milk is like, it's like a really, really strange thing to happen. But she's looking at it and almost wanting it.
Yeah.
So
she does do a lot of random. I have seen a lot of critique of people of this movie that it's very repetitive, and there is.
Isn't that her problem?
But that's the thing. There's a segment in this that's like 30 minutes long, where about 5 times she'll run off, even with the baby on her own, and then it will just cut to Robert Pattinson in the car with her, and then they drive back to the house, and then she'll run off, and it's just like a lot of.
He's continually.
So I've seen a lot of people critiquing this movie for like that reason, that it feels very same.
Yeah, but that's the problem that she's got, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just saying, for a movie.
Nothing's ever different. Oh, you're supposed for a movie.
For a movie thing.
Yeah, but is it meant to be entertainment, or is it meant to be a comment? And it's surely meant to be a comment. It's surely meant to be a comment, as you were saying, about that we don't take these things seriously enough. We don't understand. But everyone's going to it's okay to have mental problems, aren't they, really? Everyone's going, well, I had baby blues, and I had this, and they're all saying to her, she can't stand it. She can't stand people saying this to her. But then we find out later, and I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, we don't really know that.
When she talks to a psychiatrist, and she tells
the story of when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And then he basically says, well, we're a parents now. She goes, oh, they done a car. They done a plane crash when I was 10.
Yeah.
And it felt very like, oh, wow. Because people playing, I mean, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Most time, plane crashes feel so known that you would say they died in, like, flight 6, 8, or something. Like, oh, they died on this flight because they're so known. It's just like, unless you're JFK Jr. and you.
But she also says shocking things all the time that aren't necessarily true. Like when she goes to the store and she buys whatever she buys. I don't know what it was.
It was Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah, and the woman, so it's $4.
Yeah.
And the woman goes, "Oh, 2 for $6 if you want to buy them." She goes, "No, I just want one." She goes, "Oh, it's just that you pay." She goes, "I know what it is." And then she starts having them, and because the woman goes, only a young girl, she goes, "Oh, what a lovely baby, blah, blah, blah. Has he got a name?" Now, that's what people say. Has he got a name?
As opposed to,
no, we decided not to name him.
Yeah, he's unnamed.
Which is interesting because they don't actually use his name till right at the end when he's got. He's got his granddad's name.
It is sweet because it gets Harry the same as Nolte's character.
But she says that to abuse a woman behind the counter.
I think she's just stressed because she's got the
I know,
baby.
but I mean, it's not the woman's fault. It's not the woman's fault. She's
but you would be. There's a time to know because she even says to her, "Why does this matter? I'm going to pay for this, and I'm going to leave in 30 seconds. We're not going to remember."
Yeah, but we're not in New York anymore. We're in a local village store.
She just take what you know. You know, as a obviously it's not nice to be rude customer service workers, but if a customer comes in and you're working behind the counter and they do not want to talk, they are not engaged in conversation, stop trying to just they let them pay and they take their product.
I don't think they do that in small places.
Not everybody is like talky, you know. Some people have had a very stressful day, especially if they've got a baby, especially if they walk there, whatever. Just don't, you know, you're going to get shouted at. So just let them pay, and they're paying. It's not like they're doing something wrong. They're buying a product. They just don't want to engage in.
Yeah, but I think because she's a young woman behind the counter who perhaps hasn't got any babies.
Yeah.
And here's a young woman coming in with a baby, and it's kind of like, well, you've done it now. I'll be doing it.
I follow a lot of.
She doesn't really understand why.
I follow a lot of like people who've had kids and stuff, and they said, and there's a woman who said, a hardest part of going through not postnatal depression, but just postnatal in general, is everybody's eyes on the baby because when she come to a party,
the baby's the big deal
with Harry, and she'll go to the store, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, can I hold it? Can I with this cute little?" But nobody's like, "You're right." Like, hey, well, you know, kind of like talking to the mum specifically. They're all just like, "Can I take?"
Shall I tell you what I noticed?
And like even later at the beach, after she gets out of the thing, no one engages with her. They come up to the baby before the parents and start going, "What's your name?
Can we take your baby away and play with it?"
Yeah, and it's like.
But shall I tell you what I noticed from a man's point of view? I felt quite resentful of it at the time. But I mean, my babies are now your age, so but there was when she went to the hospital and she was actually in the hospital for her ongoing mental problems.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson turns up with the baby.
Yeah.
She comes out and she goes, "Oh, there he is, blah, 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 blah." And she takes the baby off and she don't even look at Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Don't even look at Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, because he got.
And he kind of stands there looking resentful. And I know he shouldn't. I would have felt the same way. I'd have been like, "What am I like? You know, chopped liver."
Well, because the last time they spoke, it was so.
But then she kisses him
but
then she kisses him on the cheek, like, "Oh, and you, of course," sort of thing. But
he also had a commit, so.
What choice did he have?
It was so awkward later on when
she dives through windows.
It's so awkward later on when she's talking and but everybody keeps going about how great he is. Like, you've got Jackson now, kind of thing. And there's a party later on when she comes back, when she comes home from the hospital, which is someone was saying it. She's like, "Yeah, we're great. He's so great, painting the house, doing all these things, looking after the baby. Oh, having me committed. Yeah. That's so." And
I killed the dog.
I killed a fucking dog. It's at a party, and it's just so awkward because obviously they're gonna get to a fight.
I like the bit when they went to, I don't know what it was, but you know when they took the cakes that had fallen.
I don't know what that probably about about.
Some sort of
kids there.
They went to some sort of party.
Yeah.
And they get there, and she's obviously reacting badly, and she walks into the. So she can't talk to this woman anymore. She just can't deal with it.
Sorry, the line before that I love, which is they come with cakes that they've clearly brought from a shop, and they're like, "Sorry, they fell over in the car." And like, they look great. And then she's scratched up the wall, so her fingers are
scraped her hands on the wall.
Oh my god, what happened to your fingers? She goes, "I burned them trying to make you okay."
Yeah.
So
she's had enough of all this, and she goes out into the room where all the adults are sitting and all the kids are outside.
Yeah.
Around the swimming pool at the time. Yeah. And she takes a dress off. And she's got like a thong on, and like a bra, and he's going, and she just, and everyone's like, oh, and she walks out and just jumps in the pool.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back after she's like dived in the pool, and all the kids have gone hooray and jumped in the pool as well. That Robert Pattinson can't take it anymore, and he's having a panic attack, and they're all gathered around him, and they're going to get her. And she just walks in, and she just she's standing there in her soaking wet underwear. And she goes, okay, breathe with me, because they're all gathered around him.
Yeah,
they're all gathered around him like he's the one with she's just mad. But he's got a health problem.
Yeah.
So we'll gather around him.
That's
And she has to talk him down.
It always is prioritised physical health over mental health.
Yeah.
Like if someone's got a broken
you can deal with physical
bone,
health.
then it's like, okay, we'll treat them first over somebody who's like kind of
we just restrain them.
Issue. But yeah, I mean it is funny that he because later on after the party thing with the second part they go to where she says that he's outside all being like getting so stressed about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe because there's like a turning point for his character in this where he starts being a bit more like, okay, there's an issue here. Because earlier on in the movie, he goes to work, he does it with the baby all the time, but then later on, he's like, no, you can't be with the baby.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you shouldn't have left him with me this whole time.
I think that it's perhaps difficult for a bloke to understand why would you be unhappy? You've got his baby.
Yeah.
Why would you be unhappy? You wanted the baby. I wanted the baby. We've got the baby. What is the problem? But obviously, it's an illness. It's an illness brought about by massive chemical imbalances and what have you. I don't really know what causes it. But obviously it's a very real thing. But it's hard for a guy to understand. And you saying that blokes get it, I think blokes just copy.
Okay.
I do. I think it's like when blokes go, they see the woman giving birth, so they start going, oh my God, I can feel the pains and everything. And next, they're having all the attention.
Yeah.
I'm wrong to say that. Cut that.
I'm not cutting it. It will be in now.
But it is.
I think for you, like someone who's older, back then you were like, what, a man can't get like breast cancer or anything. You're like, that's a woman's
No,
thing.
but I believe that's
now,
that's different. That's a physical
and especially
thing.
mental health. Something that I thought was interesting that other people have talked about is LaKeith Stanfield in this movie. He plays this like hallucination.
Oh, he plays
guy.
the bike rider guy.
Bike rider, yeah.
Who cuts his lip. That's really horrible.
And a lot of people, I wanted to go on here just specifically because people were talking about it, and someone said
he's a hallucination.
Someone said something that's interesting, which is people asking, do you think he's a hallucination or not? She clearly sees him in the parking lot scene.
Yeah.
He recognises her, but the motorcycle
does,
scene seems so out of there. And someone said something that's interesting, which is, I feel like she's fantasizing about him like he's the hot neighbour, so she sees him almost every day.
Yeah.
The lip scene felt kind of unreal. But somebody had an interesting thought, which is that I was discussing this with someone else on the drive back. I think that he's real and that they had an affair earlier on, like before she's had this baby. And that
because there is she isn't pregnant when they first go to that.
And that now he drives by her house to see her every day.
Yeah, because he always stops and looks.
But that the actual lip scene, the kissing scenes aren't real. But
because
she
gives him a knife and cut your lip.
Because it seems. The thing is, I remember we were watching House last night, and I remember him saying something, which is that if someone's hallucinating something that's like they've never experienced before, then they've got a certain condition. But if someone's hallucinating something or a person they know, it's a separate thing.
It's a separate illness.
Who's Jules?
Dr. House, you should get back to your office.
Jules. There's no Jules in history.
It was a hallucination.
Of what?
Our cat. Does this matter?
No, I'm sorry. We'll continue the transfusions and the treatment for the anemia and liver failure while we're waiting for a donor.
How long can he wait?
Not long. I don't think this is lupus.
It's lupus. Come on, let's just go.
Your fourth diagnostic criterion of lupus is psychosis. This is just a kid missing his cat.
He was being attacked by an animal that wasn't in the room. That's psychosis.
There's a difference between psychosis and hallucination.
So if he was imagining a fake cat, it'd be lupus, but since it was a real cat, it's not. Take your damn pills.
Psychosis requires...
There is no cat.
She's fully hallucinating someone that isn't even real at all.
Yeah.
Then that's like more deep than postnatal depression. That's more deep than different mental
illnesses.
That's
actual mental.
But if she's just hallucinating someone who she's had a previous relationship with, it's like
she's missing that relationship.
People, and so I did find that interesting when people were
because she's really wanting sex.
Yeah.
Because she's masturbating all over the place.
Yeah.
And he's not interested in, or Rob Pass's character won't. Because there's a bit when they're driving down the road, and she's going, when did we last spoke? And he goes like, and she goes, he goes, I don't know. And she goes, well, give it a guess. He goes, a month, she goes, 2.5 months. So she's obviously counting the days.
Yeah.
And she forces him to promise that as soon as they pull up, now, when they started out their relationship, he just pulled over.
Well, they
have
sex
up against a tree.
There is like that scene. There's scenes of them. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're really and they're dancing, but she's not pregnant.
It's interesting because that's the thing. It's interesting because a lot of people who have had kids, I've seen online, have said that you kind of just like don't even realize. I remember there was someone who, because obviously when you've had a baby, you can't even have sex for 6 weeks anyway because you've got to let everything heal. Like physically, you're not allowed to. Same with like working out and swimming.
Trying to get a baby out of that.
Yeah. And someone said, "Oh my god!" Like when we used to have sex like twice a day, and that when they had told us this that we couldn't have sex for 6 weeks, like we were both. It's a married couple, a man and a woman. They were like, yeah, we were both really
happy.
No, we were both like, oh my god, how are we gonna do this? We used to have sex like twice a day, and they said, but to be honest, when you're in the routine of having like this baby, 6 weeks kind of flies by. You know, you're not even thinking about that. So it is interesting because this baby is now 6 months old. So it is interesting to think that obviously they waited that time we were supposed to wait.
Yeah,
but then she went back to being interested in it,
and he was not interested at all. But he was maybe having sex when she waited because they did find those condoms. He said those condoms. You've seen those condoms before because she found them, didn't she? She was like, oh, you've seen those before. You found them in an old packet, and then he turned around and said something like Barry or something. They belong to Barry. Yeah, she was going, you and Barry got a really close relationship.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then she starts inflating one, and he's like, oh, and he gets in his face, and then suddenly they hit that horse.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy. That black horse. Again, it must be a hallucination because she keeps seeing it.
But yeah, it is funny to think that he went back to. I mean, a lot of women also believe when they're after postpartum that their husband or boyfriend will no longer be interested in their body because they've gone through this massive, huge, like, which men shouldn't really be.
When you watch the baby come out of like,
yeah, but like their body isn't going to look the same anymore because they've got this. So maybe she thinks he's not attracted to her because of the element of that. Hi guys, sorry, camera cut, but we're back now. So yeah, we were just talking about the LaKeith Stanfield hallucination. I believe.
Bit,
yeah. So people, I mean, I agree with. I think that's the most realistic answer is that they had a previous relationship. It wouldn't make that much sense for her to be hallucinating a completely unknown person and then running into him.
Yeah,
that would be a bit.
And it was interesting that when she was the service station or wherever they were when she was in the car looking out. I forget sometimes. Obviously, she was on the passenger side. I thought she was driving, but she was obviously on the wrong side to be driving in America. And he had. So he's married. So he's married. The character she sees, she's looking at him, and he's not riding a bike because he rides a bike and he's in leathers all the time and he wears that helmet all the time. I said, what's the guy was wearing a bloody helmet, And but his daughter is in a wheelchair,
right?
Which seemed odd.
Why?
It was like he couldn't leave his wife for the woman that he pined for.
But that's the thing; it's so unknown whether that was real or not.
Yeah, but this is all part of
going
it.
Down the
but maybe in her, maybe the rabbit hole of her madness. I would be with my lover, even if he's my imaginary lover, except he can't leave because when she went over to help, you think all the girls would stick together because she walks up and she went, I've got a flat tire, and she's looking straight at him and he's looking at her like piningly.
I think it's more of a I know you.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, but he was looking at her like with need. With desire.
I don't know that element
but the wife.
What
I'm trying to say is that the wife. Now, I would have thought that a couple are there and your husband's doing whatever, and a woman comes up and goes like, "I'm all alone. I've got a problem." Now, if a woman came up to me, and I would expect you to go like, "Well, you've got to go and help this woman and try it at least." Just because you know nothing about cars, is
I don't know. It's like
but she doesn't. She goes, "We haven't got time." She said to him, "Look, we haven't got time for this."
To be fair, it's in the middle of a parking lot with loads of other people, and it's in the middle of the day.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not like we are only.
What? So just go and ask someone else.
Yeah, we don't have the time for that. I don't know the whole LaKeith Stanfield stuff. I wish kind of got cut, just because it does.
No, but isn't that part of her madness?
Yeah, but there's so many other elements to the surreality of it being like not real, that I feel like that was almost more confusing than like, oh, it's all in her mind.
See, there was a bit.
There's only so much I think an audience can not believe, but can deal with in terms of like it's all a dream, it's all in their imagination, and I just feel like interactions with other characters being not real is a bit like unreal, like a bit unfair to the audience.
He was the only thing that he made her happy in a way that her husband didn't.
But again, it's not real.
Because
So what's the point of it?
Because there was also the bit where she got out of bed and she walked off, and she ran off, and whatever that guy's name was again.
What?
The lover's character.
I don't think you say it. Oh, LaKeith Stanfield, yeah.
LaKeith Stanfield, yeah, like that guy. And he's standing on the veranda of his house, got a beautiful house. He's standing on the veranda having a drink. And he sees her coming, and he rushes off downstairs, and they meet in like a little outhouse sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they're having like rampant nookie. And her husband, Robert Pattinson's character, Jackson, kind of half follows her.
Yeah, but it's because it's a dream.
Because it's all a dream, because he wouldn't leave the baby behind and everything.
Yeah, he's wearing a hat. He's wearing this cowboy hat.
So it's all kind of... But she wants him to be jealous, maybe.
Okay.
And so in her...
Yeah, she
so
wants
it's all from
him
her point
to
of view.
want her.
Yeah, she wants him to want her. And
it's a very...
It's all desperate. It's all desperate. This is what made,
I just
this
think
is what
there's
scared me
so
about
much
it.
that
This is what scared me.
But that's the thing, it seems on such the extreme side, having these hallucinations.
Yeah, but isn't that the strength of these hallucinations? Isn't this why we were worried about her killing the baby or harming the baby? Because of the depth of her
that's what it feels
strange
like most people would.
beliefs. And the end...
Yeah.
Now, when she's in hospital and her father-in-law's character starts talking to her, and he's okay now because he's dead.
Yeah.
He's okay, and he's sat in a chair talking to her, and so he's okay, and she's supposedly getting better or is okay, and she goes, "Oh, it's you," and she reaches back to touch him,
right,
and then she's like, bingo, she's recovered and everything, and then she goes to fight, and then she isn't recovered at all, but while she's in hospital, she starts writing again. She writes in that notebook. You never see what she's written. But she's filled pages and pages of her notebook. And then she sets off. And then when she goes off for a walk in the night, she takes all her clothes off, which is something she seems to do a lot, and sets fire to that book of her notes and everything, and supposedly sets fire to the forest.
Yeah, the end of this movie is
quite strange.
I guess her dying by suicide. I mean,
how?
I know.
Because, she throws the book down.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it wouldn't start a fire, but it's like the whole forest erupted immediately. And Robert Pattinson follows her and sees her walking towards the fire.
My
really
reading
odd.
of that is the fact that I think once she got admitted, she never got released. I think that was like
you think she's
an imagination. Because it just feels very much like...
So she never came back because he's done the whole house up and everything. He's done a really good job.
Because that's the thing. Him doing that, it's unknown how long she's been in the hospital for. But
the baby doesn't really get any bigger, doesn't he? He's not walking or anything by it, is he? He's still a baby.
But it felt kind of like the end of like maybe Stepford Wives. It's like when like she's all dressed up in like nice dress, making a cake. It feels like that, and it's like we've got picket fence now.
She does suddenly start making cakes.
We've got a nice house, and it feels like maybe that's what she wants.
What did she write on the cake?
Mummy's home.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. I couldn't quite read it.
Because it's spelled with an O over there.
Yeah.
M-O-M, not M-U.
Mommy's home.
Mommy.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Not that mum.
Mommy's home.
Mummy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I noticed like my predictive text when I send a text about, I always have to write mum, but it offers me mom.
Mom.
It does offers me M-O-M. It doesn't offer me M-U-M. So I have to change it and put M-U-M.
Just a side note, yeah, when I worked in America, we had to write letters. I worked at a camp in America twice, but we had to write letters to the parents to say how good their kids are. And basically, they get put through drafts, and then like the higher ups of the camp will look through them and like change stuff.
Your kids are kids.
And stuff they did for us was changing the British spelling.
Okay,
of so grey, because like grey, an A and stuff. And so funny. Over the camp we went to, it was grey versus blue, like the teams that they were. We have to finish this episode without video. Basically grey versus blue, and I got a discount shirt because they were printed wrong with the A, so I got it without an E. So it's like we're just selling it for like $5 instead of $20 because they're
cool.
A.
Cool.
Anyway, yes, we'll just have to finish this without.
Yeah, without doing our final bits. Yeah.
We'll do a video. We can still do audio.
Okay, cool. Right.
Sorry,
okay.
guys. I know we're still working out the whole camera thing, so I know the video kind of got, but we're gonna just do for this like last 2 minutes. We're just gonna do.
We were learning a lesson.
We're just gonna do our SD cards full, so we're gonna have to just do audio for like the last 2 minutes. But anyway, that's fine. Yeah, right before we go do the Rotten Tomatoes score, I would love to know what you think of this actually, because. I thought it was kind of interesting, little bit of costuming in this that I thought was interesting because it's really hot, so they're all dressed. They're never dressed up in jeans or anything. But I thought it was interesting because she wears dresses a lot. I like the scene where she goes to the party, and it's the party scene where she gets like undressed, takes it off, and gets in the pool. She's wearing like a yellow dress, and I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like such a neutral color. She's not fighting for like wanting because it's like, okay, you be nice. You've done all these things, but going to this party, I thought what was interesting is that she took it off. I love the fact that she doesn't have a matching her underwear to her bra with different colours because it's in like a nursing bra.
Yeah.
I realised earlier on she had a nursing bra.
So
she's got
pink
underwear and the green nursing bra, and I thought that was really interesting. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes scores, what do you think?
I think it was scored highly. I think it was scored highly on both fronts.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. I think it's going to be 75% on audience. And I think it's going to be 90% on critic.
76 on critic.
Okay, that's wrong way around then.
Yeah. What do you think audience?
I thought audience was going to be 75 and critics was going to be 90.
Well, 76 on critic.
So
from that, what do you think the audience is?
So I think the audience will be 70, 66, 44%.
44.
People really didn't like it then.
I think it's
only just come out though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it comes again. I think it's just because it's kind of repetitive. You know, I don't think audiences are going to be into.
Yeah, but that's it's the subject.
I know, but like a general audience, especially it depends on how a movie is marketed. Right, if a movie's marketed in a certain way,
I think it's been marketed. I've only heard good things.
Anyway, comment down below what you guys think. I would love to know in general what you guys are.
I'm surprised about that. I thought the audience would still like it. I
that
thought
they
people
would
who
like
knew
it,
what it was about.
Yeah.
Unless you just randomly gone to see it because it's Jennifer Lawrence, and then you go, "Oh my god, this is not something, not a subject I want to see."
But anyway, comment on what you guys think, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Real Family Reviews podcast.
Thank you.
Tune in next time, either Wednesday or Sunday, for another review. We might be uploading some extra Sunday episodes. But
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Bye. Bye.